And we're live. Good evening, boys, and welcome back to another new Wednesdays. Tonight, I have Altair. Good evening, mate. How you doing? And the beautiful Reckless, man. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining. Guys in chat, man. What an intro. What an intro. Apex, Nim, thanks for the sub, by the way. Sub-Zero, Creative Mods. Oh my gosh, chat's going mad. They're muted? They're not muted. They're both muted? No, they're not. Don't do this to me, boys. They're not. They are. They're not. I think. Bear with me, boys. I think I may know why I've broken this, boys. Altair, speak for me, man. Speak for me. Say nice things. Oi, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that to me. Boys, can you hit him now? Can you hit him now?
I'm here.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, long story short, I tried to basically start recording through Streamlabs, and I was setting all these different audio channels up, and obviously I broke it. So again, Altair, thanks for joining, mate. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How's everyone here?
And guys, if you haven't met Reckless, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, Reckless here. How y'all doing?
If you don't know, guys, Reckless will be leading our NA clan. Oh, sorry for that technical fuck up, boys. I would have thought after like 7 months I might have been getting the hang of this by now, but one day soon.
It's okay.
So the plan tonight is we're going to be running through, ideally, everything New World PvP. So we're going to kick off with talking about open world PvP, which will include things like the faction control points. Oh my god, the music's on like 0, man. Shit. Faction control points, toggle on, toggle off, things like that. And kind of everything we can come up with open world PvP. Then we're going to go and talk about the territory wars, which I know a lot of us here are excited about. And then kind of finishing off with Outpost Rush. And if you didn't see yet, New World dropped a new Outpost Rush video today. Sort of some good and bad things already been coming out. So we'll watch that together, and it'll be good to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Yeah. Well, I guess if you're happy, we'll just get straight into it. We'll start talking about the open world PvP and the faction control points.
I'm ready to begin when you are, buddy.
So if you guys didn't know, what faction control points are basically what they've done is they've taken the forts that you would typically use for territory wars and turn them into essentially PvP kind of hotspots. That's the idea behind them. Each different control point in different territories will give different buffs and things like that. I'm just gonna play a quick clip from this faction control point. If you haven't seen it yet, it's kind of cool. You basically go into a gated area where you can have up to 25 people each team and fight it out for the control point, basically. Yeah, it kind of is what it is. I don't really know what else to say at this point, but it is what it is. I mean, Altair, are you excited for a bit of open world PvP?
Oh, hell yeah. Like when I saw this video today, or when was it? I was like, this is going to be insane. I like open world PvP and all other games, so fuck yeah. Let's go for it.
I don't know. I've spoken to a lot of people about it, and a lot of people have kind of said like, they don't think it's going to be worth it, because basically what you can do is you can go into the point, you can capture the control point, which takes I think anywhere up to like 2.5 minutes to 5 minutes, depending on how many people you got on point. But the moment you take it and the moment you leave, I can come in and take that control point back off you, essentially.
Oh, so there's no cooldown on the control point at all.
Exactly, yeah. So the second you leave that point, I can be in there and yoinking it from you, essentially, which is...
Okay, I don't like that. That means we'd have to, if we were wanting to do the same thing, we'd have to keep people on it at all times, pretty much. That just that doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense, especially if our whole plan is to kind of command everything.
Cat thinks it doesn't. He don't think that's how it works. According to the patch notes, that's how it works. I guess the only thing that would be beneficial is that let's say we want to capture a particular control point because we're going to be going to do an expedition, and one of these control points gives an expedition buff. We would need, I don't know, 5 to 10 people to constantly be defending that point, while the rest of the team are, out doing some expeditions at the same time, just to utilize those buffs. Liberate Hong thinks you could buy a timeout in the cash shop. Come on, man, none of these guys.
Cash shop. Oh.
Julius thinks it's going to be crazy good if people actually fight over it. Imagine 25v25. You'll need to be flagged to get in there, so it would just go to Zergs most likely. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because I guess, I don't know about you, Reckless, but I don't think I would want to send 25 of my guys there just to take a point. Apart from the PvP experience, that would be fun.
I would not. I wouldn't want to have them there at all. There's so many other things in the game that we could have them doing versus having to sit on a point just to get a buff for, and then they'd have to continue to sit there, so they don't even get to enjoy the content that comes with the buff that's being given.
Yeah. Might be a time for us to take it in turns, and I'll hold it while you go and do an expedition, and vice versa.
Yeah, that's to me at least that's kind of a pain in the ass. Like I get the PvP experience and all that stuff but we're going to be, especially in this group, we're going to be PvPing a lot. I just can't see the difference between that and just going and looking for PvP fights ourselves.
The PvP XP though, yeah, that is a good shout. So what would be really cool is to see 25 from each faction, so 25, Syndicate, Covenant, and Marauders, all in there fighting together, having an all-out brawl. That would be cool to see. But also, we could probably organize that in the open world. Imagine having, I don't know, I would really love to see open world PvP organizing 50, 60, 70 people from each side, just to smash it out in the open world. May break the servers, but it would be awesome to see that.
That would be epic. That's what I want to see is say, since we're all going Marauder, I'd like to see a big Marauder, all the Marauders sitting outside of the city, and then all. See, I don't even care about the other factions. What are the other factions called? Covenant.
Covenant and Syndicate, yeah.
Yeah, having Covenant out here on the right, and then all the Marauders out here on the left, and just having this massive battle. And if we crash the server, then we know we did our job. That's perfect.
Did a good job, yeah. So I'm going to call him Kang. I remember Kang from Liberate Hong. His name's Kang from Guild Wars 2 times. So in Guild Wars, there was caravans that run from place to place, and you would have these kind of small outposts too. And what you would find is that people would actually, get to the end game and find themselves, just waiting on these points, sitting up on the forts and just doing their part for the team. So there may be people out there that will kind of be control point defenders, which would actually be kind of cool. Yeah. Go back to the whole.
Especially if they get to sit there and jerk it, like he said. Everybody's got to have some time to fap, so I guess that could be the time to fap.
I would love to see go back to the open world thing, having that triangle of factions and just everyone working together to make this really cool open world PvP experience would be sweet. Favorite weapon, Altair, for open world PvP?
For now, I think it's spear, and maybe I'll go with a sword and shield to go with that.
Mate, actually, we're gonna watch it in a bit, but the new Outpost rush video they put out, the spear has a really, really cool moment. You see this dude just fly off the wall.
I've seen it.
Speared. Yeah. Oh my god, that's super cool. That is super, super cool. So I don't actually have the list here. I'm incredibly unprepared. My mates invited me out on a boat just before stream, so I'm not prepared. Standard stuff. But basically, every time you capture a faction control point, that activates a particular buff for that territory that you're standing in. So some of them are tax reduction, some of them are, I think it's like XP boosts in expeditions, and there is a range of different buffs throughout the different factions. So, and one thing also is to note that if, let's say, Syndicate own the Everfall territory, Marauders can come into the Everfall fort and capture that too. So you don't necessarily have to own the territory to own the fort. So that's for everyone. Boys, if you see any cool questions in chat, I can see some awesome comments coming in here and good opinions. So pick them up if you want.
Yeah, Terra Kill is so turned on that he or she is dripping.
With sweat, I'm assuming. Yeah, cool. Okay.
Let me in on that action. And then, yes, Logic, we are playing the beta. If you are in the NA and thinking about joining, we are actually recruiting right now. Whenever beta launches, I will have me and some other guys kind of server hopping, figuring out where it seems like, yes, sweat. Oh, that's not as fun. We are kind of figuring out the pings and how it works for everybody, and we're going to get kind of like a poll going, seeing where people are at on as far as East Coast and West Coast. I'm myself in Central, so I can go either way. Yeah. Let's see.
I was going to say, like, one thing we were speaking about recently on the streams is, I think our Bizy Dip picked up on it very well. So one of the massive changes from, if you guys played the preview, you guys haven't obviously, but in the preview there was this huge stagger effect when you hit some of your light attacks, especially with the hatchet. Obviously, later on you'll see in my battle video, it's just like hatchets everywhere. You get staggered, but now there is no stagger, or very little of it. You know, you have to CC some of the skill. It makes PvP really different. And one of the things we talked about earlier is if you're toe to toe with someone, by the time you start your light attack, because you get stuck in an animation lock, that person can actually kind of step out of the way. That's kind of some of the feedback we've had. Obviously, I haven't had a chance to really get stuck in and try that, but open world PvP is going to be super, super interesting. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of 1vx scenarios or 2vx or 3vx, and it's going to be really interesting. So if you guys didn't know, feel free to give us an update on the football, boys. I know football's kicking off, so stick some comments in chat. Let us know how it's going on. I think it was 1v1 before we started. Make sure in the beta you're going to be trying the 5 versus 5 duel system. You know, get 10 of your mates together, split up 5v5, and try to do a lot of 5v5s rather than 1v1s, because I feel that will make you a bit more of aware of your surroundings and stuff, and definitely something I'll be pushing our boys to do. Yeah, I mean, overall PvP, I don't think there's any more to talk about. A lot of people have said to me it's going to be shit because everyone's going to be not toggling on PvP, but our experience in the preview was amazing. We were constantly fighting in open world, and even to the point where people were getting annoyed because it was happening too much. Didn't have enough repair parts. It was costing too much. We were losing out on XP because we were constantly fighting. So, yeah, I'm not worried about that.
Even in my small group, we were fighting constantly. We were going around with probably 5 to 10 people, and we were constantly fighting other groups of 5 to 10 people. We got demolished by a group of about 30 that were running together. We were fighting constantly, and we were running that same issue. I don't think, like, I've played other games where open world PvP just completely failed, but in this game it does not. It seems like there were a lot of people that were flagged and fighting, and the fighting was actually, like, I was actually going to bring this up earlier, Danny. I don't agree with the complete stagger removal. I do agree the hatchet stagger lock was ridiculous. It made me change to hatchet just so felt like I could compete. But I think that completely removing stagger was a bad call. I mean, we'll see whenever the beta actually comes out, but it was I think there needs to be some kind of stagger, maybe on heavy hits. Like, I believe you should, if you are able to land a heavy hit, you should be rewarded with some kind of stagger to follow up with maybe a light attack, something like that. Just my opinion on it. But yeah,
we'll have to work like lions, man. Like you'll be sneaking up from the front, and I'll be sneaking up from the back, and Altair from the side. We'll have to just do him at the same
Hell
time.
yeah.
Are we still
I know
talking
your
about New
mind.
World?
I know your mind's going elsewhere. But...
Are we still talking about New World?
We're good.
We're talking about last night.
I was actually gonna bring up a point here. So a lot of what I think the way the game is going is there's a lot more incentives around owning a territory. So we're getting into territory wars now. By owning a territory, you get all these kind of extra buffs and extra things that start to, you start to get, whether you have it as a company or have it as a faction, you still get rewards. So one of the big changes is that you can transfer materials between territories. So what I think is going to happen is that more people are going to be wanting to get involved in territory wars, and the way you put a territory into combat is by basically flagging on PvP, right, and doing PvP missions. And the way you stop someone, essentially stop someone from throwing your territory into conflict to PvP you, is to PvP them back and stop them doing these PvP missions. So I'm hoping that there'll be enough incentive around owning a territory that will incentivize people to start flagging on and fighting over the PvP missions. I don't know if you remember, but I think the PvP missions before were relatively boring and not that exciting. But yeah, I see some good comments there on your opinion.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you, so I
No,
responded. I responded there, but what Katsamushi, I'm assuming. Heavy hits doing stagger favors faster weapons, which gets us back in Hatchet Stagger land. I get your point, but every single game where you're using weapons, you have the trade-off of a faster weapon normally doing less damage versus a heavier weapon doing big damage. So, yeah, you may be able to land a heavier or a light attack in a heavy form, but it's going to do less damage than if you say you're using the hammer and you're able to land a heavy attack and do massive damage. Like you're gonna, like if somebody hits me with a heavy hatchet, yeah, I'm gonna feel it. But if somebody hits me with a big ass hammer, that some bitch is gonna chunk me.
You're gonna really feel it.
Yeah, that's just that's again. These are my opinions. That's how I see it.
So the duelist has made a nice point here. If you guys didn't know, duelist was a duelist in preview and kicked some ass in the 1v1 scenario. One thing that I really loved was I saw quite a few videos where people would go into a 1v3 or a 1v5. Duelist, you reckon that's kind of not a thing anymore, from what you said there? Well, that's one thing that I would love to see. Altair, we're going to get into some 5v10s and kick some ass, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so. The only thing is, I don't think it's gonna happen because everyone is gonna run with those comps. You gotta have your healer, you gotta have your tank and damage dealers. So at 5v10, they can out heal you probably. So it's probably not gonna be a thing. Maybe 5v7 you can win, but that's it.
Drew thinks 1vx is gone. Yeah, only possible way is to one shot people. Hopefully the balance is sort of coming favor of being able to do that, because I think one thing that all of us probably are excited about in the PvP side is that, a lot of the PvP was supposed to be kind of skill focused. If you are not quick enough with your musket to hit them in the head, you're not going to do any damage, and it's the same with the spear and the bow. If you don't, what's the right saying? Lead your shots. You're gonna miss your shots and stuff like that. And I think that skill-based part of the PvP really needs to be there and kick some ass, basically. And if they remove the ability to 1vx, then that's going to be, I don't know, man. That makes me kind of sad, to be honest. I'm pretty disappointed.
Yeah, nobody, like, I remember PUBG, like, it was one of my greatest feelings whenever I was in, like, that's a shooter game, like, outplaying multiple opponents. Like, if your squad gets wiped and then you're able to somehow turn around and 1v4 and wipe their entire squad, that's badass. Like, you don't get feelings like that.
On top of the world, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Katsamushi, that's true, but the new version of Stagger's on the abilities. The new combat changes put Stagger on abilities, so there's a limit to how often you can do it. Instead of as fast as you can cycle your hold down button heavy attack. True, but there's a skill gap. Whenever you have people that are using their Stagger abilities, or using their Stagger abilities, you still, even with weapons, you still have the ability, even though they can sit there and spam that heavy attack, you still have your dodging. That's just going to be your skill gap and how you can fill it in with in counterance to what they're doing. So I would like that. My main point is I would like to see more melee stagger versus ability based stagger. I like being rewarded for being more skillful than somebody else. And same vice versa. If I get my ass kicked. Sorry, Danny, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, mate, you're good. I'm gonna throw us into some territory wars scenario here. So this was one of our first 50 versus 50 wars playing in the background here. Probably a little bit chaotic. Probably got things in the wrong place. It was just very exciting. You can see we got a bloody cannon over the gate rather than a pot of oil and you know, silly things like that. But obviously we won, so it didn't matter too much. But I'll let this play in the background. And you haven't had a chance to play a territory war yet, have you, Altair?
No, I haven't.
Oh, fuck
I've
yeah,
only
man.
seen them in your videos.
Yeah.
It looks epic, mate. Just being out there, like cannons and like shooting like the musket and stuff. You can shoot bows and shit from the walls off. It's gonna be insane. Like even the PvP on the ground when you said you're controlling the points. I don't know how many points there were again. Like 3?
Yeah. So for you guys who may have not played territory wars at all yet, long story short, the way it works is there is an A, B, and C point. Attackers need to capture those points. Defenders obviously need to defend them. It's a straight up 50 versus 50. As you can see on this screen here, the way it works is you can select your, let's say, your best 50 out of however many people from your faction sign up. So I think in our scenario here, we had 13 pages. So I think it was a couple hundred people, I think. So you pick your best, you stick them into groups, and then you guys basically head out and try and kick some ass. Blake's asking, at the end of the war, is there any way to see how many kills you got? I'm not sure on territory wars. I know for sure that they've now introduced a leaderboard in invasions, so I would assume that there is some sort of leaderboard within the territory wars. The only potential problem I see with that is that people will be out there kind of farming kills rather than working on the capture point. So if they bring out a leaderboard, I'm hoping that it just rewards people for, you know, doing the mission, you know, capturing the points rather than just running off farming kills. But yeah, and then once let's say the attackers capture A, B, and C, they then have to assault the fort. That's just
hopefully they wait the entire portion of that fight, like capturing points awards, you know, a finite amount of points. Getting a kill awards a finite amount of points. Obviously, capturing a point would be weighted heavier than getting the kill. Assists, like, because obviously in some fights you're gonna have 10 guys gaining up on 2 guys, so obviously like assists will be divvied out a certain way. That's the way I would hope it would be if they do release a leaderboard with it. From the footage we've seen, melee now does 50% less damage, and musket bow staffs do 100% more damage. Sounds like I'll be using, if that's accurate, then sounds like I'll be using a musket or bow and getting a couple shots in before I go in to fight somebody.
So the one thing we found out on the first war was if everyone, you'll see everyone stands by the gate. Everyone got stuck at the gate and couldn't get through. By the time we fucking got through, they're already on B. You'll start to see here a few people managed to get through, but look, we're all just stuck at the fucking gate. No one could get out. So future wars, we all went out on different gates and it made it a bit easier. But look, 15 seconds into the game, I'm not even out the gate yet. So little tip, boys, on your first territory wars, don't stack at the gate. But yeah, so I think for me, I probably spent like 70% of my time either in a territory war or planning for a territory war. You know, everything for me was about the wars. Like just running into a group of this many people was probably the most fun I've had in a long time. So I'm super excited. You'll see throughout this video I die a lot because I'm just running in like an idiot. But learning processes, right? So
look at all those hits you're taking.
Yeah.
Like a boss.
Yeah, but look how many people also were like looking at Danneh and no one else. Like they got hit by so many mages of us there.
Yeah, so that could be a legit strat. If everybody's focused on Danneh because they want to kill Mr. Strimmer, then you could have everybody else in the back sitting there with range and just tearing them up.
Following the damage. So there's not kind of too much to talk about with regards to the actual war itself. I feel over the coming weeks, especially definitely in beta as well, you'll start to see like tactics. You know, I know we've all been talking about tactics and how we would run it. You can probably see here. I think we all said to ourselves we'll let A and C fall. I think we had maybe 5 people on each, and we were going to really just focus on B. The issue you'll find then is if they all push hard on the point, it's quite difficult. So you need to be kind of all ready together to focus your damage on the point. If they got 15, 20 people sitting on the point, you need to hit
Now
them.
on the points, if one of our guys is on the point, does it completely stop them taking it, or is it based upon how many numbers of each are on the point at any particular time?
Yeah, so if they had 10 and we had 2, there it would still continue to raise up, and they would ultimately claim that point, and capture it from us.
Okay.
Yeah, so we didn't find out until kind of halfway through the map or the game that you could actually buy stuff from the flags. I don't know if that's still a thing.
What?
Yeah, so within the territory as well, you have basically a siege shop or an armory, I think it was called, where you could buy things like kegs, fire traps, ammo, potions, things like that. So we also didn't find out that if you use the kegs, which are basically an explosive barrel, you can use them to blow up siege weapons and stuff. So you'll start to see in a minute they are placing siege weapons down. There you go. There's one kind of in the distance there. They can build siege weapons to kind of help them assault, whereas we just get to use what's on the fort.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a super cool mode, and I think
oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't get to participate in one of these during the beta.
You didn't? Oh, well, you should do. Hopefully everyone will get a chance to do this in the upcoming beta, because it's probably one of the best experiences for me anyway. It was awesome.
That looks like a lot of fun.
Do you pay with kegs, mines, etc., with gold or a currency from the instance? Yeah, so you use something called battle tokens. If I move my screen down a bit there, you can see at the top right of my screen there's battle tokens there. There's also something called siege parts. So again, we didn't figure this out until one of the boys was like, "Fuck, man, you can repair the gates with siege parts." Like, how do you do this? Siege parts basically, I don't know if it's changed, it's changed, but they would automatically generate over a certain period of time, and you could, next to your armory, take these siege parts and rebuild your gates. So when you get to the gates side, if they take down 5 gates, you can repair 4 of them and try and fill them through that one gate, let's say, and focus all your team there.
Is there a cooldown on doing repairs on gates? So like if they were doing enough damage, say you fix it and then they start doing damage again, can they break it can they damage it immediately and then you repair it immediately, or how does that work?
As far as I'm aware, yeah. There was no kind of cooldown, but what you'd find is that once they get a gate down, they are setting up siege weapons outside the gate, and if you try to repair it, you're going to get slapped. So you need to take down a siege first or snipe them out of it.
Okay. Interesting.
Terror asks, how do you get chosen to join the sieges? That's a tough one. So primarily companies, will pick people that they know and people from their company. Or you become friends with that company and they'll bring you in. So you can bring anyone in from your faction or the faction that you're not fighting against, which is kind of cool. So if Altair's on Covenant for some mad reason, he just leaves us and chooses Covenant and we're fighting Syndicate, he can actually come and play in our faction war, or fight against us with the Syndicate crew. So it's pretty cool. And I think there's one scenario where I think it was Syndicate were fighting Covenant, and we had like 10 members of our clan on each side, which was pretty crazy. It's like seeing you boys on the battlefield, like just fighting against you for one game. It's just great fun. It really is good. In duelist
Terror Kill
experience. Go on, mate.
Oh.
No, go for it.
So there's a chance you might never be able to play in a siege because you're not chosen. At least with what I plan on doing for this is I'm going to rotate people for each one. I'm going to have one where we go and I'm going to choose people or Slappa or whoever else is an officer. If one of us isn't available, choose people. We're going to take note of who was in that particular one, and then the next one we'll rotate and go back through. That way, everybody gets a chance. Everybody gets to participate. Things like that. And then those people have, if they can't make it, they'll have to keep me updated or Slap updated. That way, we can sub somebody else in to take over for them.
Yeah. What up, feedback? Duelist experience. Shit talking on global is how you get invited. I like that style. But yeah,
every fight then.
Mike makes a great point. Basically, in my opinion, I'll be picking probably the most skilled and best performing players. That's not necessarily meaning you are the highest level you're going to get picked, but for me, it's all about kind of your team synergy. So if whoever's leading your raid says go left, you go left. If they say go right, you go right. And teamwork is going to be much, much more important than having someone who thinks a bit of a Rambo just running off on their own. So I think, get yourself on the Discord of someone in your faction, work together with one of the top factions in your company or top companies in your faction, excuse me. And just work together, be vocal, and you'll get picked for sure. I wouldn't worry too much about
that. I'll be extremely upset if I'm not chosen. So as at least for me, what I was saying, whenever we first start, we will be doing that. But I'm also going to be keeping a close watch. I'm going to have Slappa doing the same thing, and anybody else that's an officer doing the same thing, seeing who works well together and who doesn't. It's the same thing, just even in life in general, with jobs, everything like that. You got to find who works together and who doesn't, who's compatible, who makes a good team. And then once we know who makes good teams in those groups, then we're obviously going to put those people together, and hopefully we can synergize where everybody is at an equal competing level to where it doesn't have to get to the point where we're like, hey, sorry, we're not going to actually tell you suck, but you suck, so you're not going in. But actually have a team that synergizes with the way that you play, so we don't have to do that. Like you're going to go in it either way because y'all make a good team in itself. That's my plan.
That sounds good, man. It absolutely sounds good. So I put you on a spot, Altair. Do you know how the war timers work?
No,
as in
what I know,
declaring war. Like, do you know how the time?
Declaring war. The only thing I know, you need to do like PvP missions in that area to be able to declare war. I don't think you can choose a time for the war. I think the defenders can. That's the only thing I know, and they can set a certain time for it for each. Oh no, for every thing they own, right? Every territory.
Spot on. The one thing that was a little bit off was the territories having different times. So, as far as I'm aware, the way the timer works is if we own 7 territories, those 7 territories could all be attacked at the same time. So I've heard of a few instances where people are going to be making like 6 guilds if they want to claim 6 territories, and then just setting the timers on different time zones, basically. So ultimately the way that works is you set your time that's best for you guys, and then people can declare war, like you said, at your chosen time as a defender, and the attackers will need to meet your schedule. So hopefully there's no 3 a.m. territories that will be up there, because that's going to suck. There was a great point one of the boys picked up. Oh, where was it? Oh, shit. I missed it. I forgot it. Oh, yes. The Vanguard system I wanted to talk about. I won't put you guys on the spot for this because this has changed a lot. So, if you guys didn't know, the way the Vanguard system now works is, so it's all based on influence. So let's assume that Altair and Reckless, we all own 3 separate companies, and we're all going to be attacking Everfall. If my company does 20% worth of the influence, bringing it into conflict, Altair's does 20%, but yours does the 60%. Reckless, you're going to have a higher chance to be selected as the company to basically go in and attack. Whereas before it was a complete lottery, so everyone could sign up when the territory was in conflict and blah 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 blah. But now you have to earn you have to do a minimum of 10% worth of the influence, and the more influence you do, or the more influence you drain into conflict, or however you want to say it, the higher chance you have to attack that zone. So that kind of I guess it's kind of bad in one way because it's kind of empowering, want for a better word, a Zerg company because they can have more people. But on the flip side, a smaller company still has an opportunity to attack. So, what do you think about that, Reckless? Good or bad update?
I'm the wrong person to ask. I actually agree with big, massive group zerging because I mean, it's going to suck, but it's not my fault that you can't get together a big company. That's if you got a problem with it, go join a big company. That's the way I feel about it. It is what it is.
I guess it's kind of good because it the game's focused around now 100 limit companies, and it's pushing people to work together more. I guess the good thing is, again, if you've got a 50-man company and a 30 and a 60 and a 70 and no one's massive on your faction, the chances are you're going to be working together anyway. So if you do have a massive company, it's okay. If you don't on your faction, it's also okay. But you would probably, if you do end up having a 400, 500 man company on your faction, then you probably would want to change factions anyway and go and kick their ass. But the alternative would be to be friends with them and show them that you're a badass, and they will bring you into the territory wars anyway. Got some cool questions here. War fatigue will be a thing. They've got 10 wars in it. Absolutely, Julius. Absolutely. I think at the end of the preview, although I had the greatest of fun, we had a war every day, and it's incredibly time consuming, setting up your team, worrying about all the food you need to get, worrying about all the potions and stuff that I'd never used anyway. But you need to get all that prepped up and sort your teams out every day, and it's from a organization point of view, it's quite difficult, especially if you've got 4 or 5 wars a week or even more. A couple of days. Yes, that would be tough for sure. Terras, is there a player limit for open world battles? No, there's not. There is inside faction control points, which we just spoke about earlier, which is 25 v25 v25, but outside of that, it's as you please, I believe. Angry thinks 100 is too small. They need to up the company size. Even Rain and WoW could be hard to get 40 people online when you have over 400. What do you think about that, Altair? Do you want bigger numbers than 100?
Yeah, for sure. I could do it.
Fuck yeah, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
200, 250, get us the same as WoW, 400 plus in one company. Yeah, I'm down for that. It'd be so good.
I guess it's such a difficult one because like we saw in Last Oasis, right? They tried to force you to have just 50 or just 60 players. But if you've got a group of 100 mates, you're going to find a way to work together anyway. So it's kind of the only thing it is going to do is force you to organize yourself more. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Reckless? Happy with 100 or?
I'm happy with 100. But I wouldn't mind if it went bigger either. I was actually going to ask you, so as far as organization on big battles and stuff like that, are you going to, it's going to be hard to relay orders to 100 people. Are you going to have multiple voice channels and then one person leading each kind of squads? Because I just couldn't see you trying to hop between or trying to get everybody's attention whenever you've got 100 people on a voice channel. I was thinking that I would have officers that would handle a certain section, and then they can rotate in and out of channels as they need to.
I wasn't going to share my skills, but I'm an alt-tab ingenious, man. I can hop between 20 channels in 2 seconds. No problem, man. No one else can keep
I
up
mean,
with me.
I believe that. I've
No.
seen your fingers in action. I've had your fingers in action, so yeah, I believe that.
On a semi-serious note, my advice for that is, use something like TeamSpeak. We will be using some sort of voice program where we can talk cross channels. So, you could have 4 groups, and you could, let's say I'm leading a group, I could talk between these 4 groups, whether that's to everybody in the full 50 people, or I speak to you and Altair because you're both leading sort of a, I don't know, like a smaller raid group within the 50 versus 50. So that would be my suggestion, and that would be the way we're going, because 50 people in the channels is mega fun. The hype is going to be insane. It's going to be nuts. There's going to be people chatting about everything. I'm going to be crying now because I just died on the point and no one's there to protect me, and it's I'm going to be raging and everyone's going to be raging. It's going to be great fun, but that's going to drown out a lot of people and a lot of important calls. So yeah, I would definitely suggest for other companies to think about using voice comms where you can talk cross channels. Pick up on a couple of these questions here. Thrawn, what do you think about 1,000 players per server? Altair, what do you reckon?
It's a bit low on my point, because if, let's say, one company can already be 100, so that means there's only 10 companies in one server. There's 3 factions you can choose from, so that means what, 3 companies per faction, and then 1 that is lingering around?
Yeah,
it's a bit less. I would up it to as much as they can.
More. I think
well, at least 5,000 or something. Well, maybe that's a bit too much. Maybe like 2.5K.
It would be nice to see them kind of like bring more server cap the more territories they bring in. So maybe start at, let's say, 2K, because that's enough for the amount of territories that are there. The more territories they bring out, they just sort of increase the server cap. But I don't know how on earth they would start to merge people from other servers and all that. It gets a bit messy.
Do we know how many people are going to be or are currently allowed on servers, or what the cap is currently?
No. So in preview it was 1,000, or there was some information out there that it was 1,000 people per server. But currently, no confirmation on servers, no confirmation on server cap, no confirmation on when they're gonna release or let us even pre-download the game. Rem's asking what faction you're choosing. We will be going Marauders.
Yeah, and I'll be going Covenant, like you told me, right?
What?
He said it at the start of the stream.
Infiltration, man. Behind enemy lines.
No. Listen here, Danny's twin.
Okay,
You're not allowed to do that.
But I like the color yellow.
Zucker asks, how does crafting work for Siege? Is there a place for crafters? I'll throw this to you, Reckless. Do you think there's a space for crafters, whether that's prepping for Territory Wars or in Territory Wars itself? What do you reckon?
Without a doubt, yeah. We're always gonna need crafters. We fully want to integrate people that they may not want a PvP or anything like that, but they still need a home. We will need crafters, and we, at least in my opinion, somebody that doesn't want to do a whole lot of PvP but still wants to help, they'll feel needed, and they definitely will be wanted. So if you are just wanting to craft, if that's your strong suit, and then enjoy the game at your own leisure, by all means, go for it. We're going to need your help on things like this for siege preparation and just pretty much any and all facets of the game, with how much of a impact crafting is going to have on the game.
Love it, mate. Love it. How does open world PvP work when it comes to world bosses? Is it forced flag? Not that I'm aware of. As far as I'm aware, in the entire game, the only place they force flag you for PvP is faction control points, which is basically where we're fighting now on this fort. But that is X versus X scenario. We don't know. And obviously in Territory Wars, and of course Outpost Rush, which we're going to move on into now. So Altair Reckless, you boys haven't seen the new Outpost Rush video they've brought out, have you? Is this
I
Show
have
me,
not.
mate.
Oh, Altair, did you watch it earlier? I think you said you did actually.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, spread my cheeks and show me the love, bud.
All right, so let me just get this ready. So there's 2 videos that have come out. One is from Nuad himself, and I'll say from the off, I think it looks great. I'm a big fan of kind of this cinematic, kind of sexy looking video. And then there's the other one from IGN, which is kind of some actual gameplay. Winterman, thanks for the follow. And I'll let you watch it first before I say anything. So let me.
Did you say Winterman?
Winter Save, Killer Priest, Zoc, boys. Thanks for the follows.
Yeah, you definitely said Winterman.
Winterman, did I?
Better guy.
Winterman,
Yeah,
welcome, dude. New nickname. All right, headphones up. Let's go. Okay, so I'll just let this run through the whole way. It's just 3 minutes long. And you boys.
After this, I'm gonna have to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
We're bringing the battle
Drinking
to a
lot of
tournament
Dr. Pepper and water.
in an all-new PvPvE mode, Outpost Rush.
Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on some of these armor
Jump in
sets.
solo, or with up to 5 of your friends in a coordinated 20 versus 20 battle.
That's the moment! Sorry.
Teams must coordinate and balance their time upgrading outposts, gathering resources, capturing objectives, and defeating enemies. When your team spawns into a match, you'll want to push forward and capture outposts to bring you closer to victory. Outposts can be upgraded, defended, and used as forward operating bases to drive the enemy back. Gather resources to support your team and keep your outposts well protected. Each outpost has features that your team can use to help you in battle. Upgrade your outpost's gate to keep the enemy team at bay. Spend resources to buy protection wards, creating a respawn point at your outpost. Build repeater turrets and vats of burning oil to rain fire down on the other team and repel their attacks. Create a command post to inspire your team, making them stronger and more resilient. But defeating the enemy isn't the only way to win. Outpost Rush has plenty of other objectives too. Build cannons and give your team the edge in an outpost siege. Summoning circles give players a chance to summon some of Eternum's most fearsome creatures to fight on their side. Collect Azoth Essence to make an offering to the corrupted portal. If your team sacrifices enough essence, you'll be rewarded with a powerful advantage. Throughout the match, Baroness Hane appears. If your team can manage to defeat her, they'll be granted an immensely powerful buff that can help turn the tide of battle. Defeating the Baroness also freezes the other team's score, giving you a chance to catch up if you're behind, or put the final nail in the other team's coffin. There are so many ways to win an Outpost Rush. Collect resources for your team. Lay siege to enemy outposts and capture map objectives. Victory means reward in gold and treasure. The bigger the victory, the bigger the reward. There's so much to discover in New World, and Outpost Rush is only the beginning. We'll see you in a turn.
Oh yeah. All right. So I mean, like straight off the bat, looks cool as shit. Looks amazing. What do you think, boys?
I'm with Terry
insane,
Kill.
mate.
I'm orgasmed multiple times.
Altair loves it. Reckless loves it.
Oh,
Okay,
hell yeah.
so there's a few things in here that just look amazing. I'll see some questions popping in. So just to confirm, this is a 20 versus 20 kind of instance battleground, as far as I'm aware, completely away from the rest of the game. You can queue as a solo or you can queue as a 5-man team. So you can't go in as a straight 20 versus 20, which is a little bit disappointing, to be fair, but that's how it works. So yeah, it is 20 versus 20. Is this a repeatable background? As far as we're aware, yeah. We're not sure kind of whether it's open 24/7 or whether it's timed or any of that yet. I'm not sure. I haven't seen any information come out about that yet. I'll just pause it on this quick. This is kind of cool. So this is the bird's eye view of the map. It looks kind of cool.
I'll be right back, Danneh. I got to pee.
Yeah, man. No, go for it. Pretty excited about PvP actually. Yeah, it's good. Love it. Eternum Awaits. Nice name, by the way. Awesome. Yeah, so we're not sure, Terra, whether it's unlimited or whatnot. Rewards wise, can you shed any light on this, Altair? I don't think there's been mega news about this.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
No.
I haven't seen anything about rewards or in one of the patch notes they said everything like PvP wise, PvE wise gives you rewards, even the fights over territory. So this might give you rewards as well, maybe gear. I don't know.
There was a talk about some gear being dished out for Outpost Rush. A couple more questions. Jane, welcome to the stream, bro. Are we going to be playing on North America? Personally, myself, I'm going to be in EU with Altair and our EU clan, and below me, who's just popped for a wee, I think, is Reckless. He will be leading our NA group alongside Captain Slapper. So yes, we'll have an NA group and an EU group. So if you are interested in joining the madness that is us, drop on over to the Discord. But yeah, I think the idea is that you can play Outpost Rush. You can probably earn achievements and titles and all that sort of stuff from here, and you should, in theory, be able to take your armor, your weapons, your skins that you earn here back to the rest of the world, let's say, and sort of show off how much of a badass you are in this zone. I'm going to bring up now Outpost Rush, which is a bit of a longer video, in the hands of IGN. You guys can kind of make your own judgment on this. But this is gameplay.
PvP isn't the first thing that comes to mind when I'm looking for my next big MMORPG. A few games named.
So one of the first things that I noticed, and someone's already said to me, Dan, it's just latency, shut up, is when he shoots his bow and his arrows loose, like the animation behind
World of Warcraft and Guild Wars 2, or even the faction versus faction Space Warfare MMOFPS PlanetSide 2, all had fantastic and well thought out PvP in the bag. But those games are few and far between. Amazon's New World, on the other hand, may have something up its sleeve for PvP players between faction-based territories, World PvP, and its marquee feature, the 20 versus 20 player PvPvE mode, Outpost Rush. Speaking of the latter, I recently got the opportunity to play a round of Outpost Rush on its premiere map, Nothinose Island, with Amazon Games creative director David Furfai, who personally walked me through many of Outpost Rush's systems and the layout of the map itself.
It's a timed mode where the objective is to get to 1,000.
Yeah, sorry boys, I had it loud.
You get points by
stuck
controlling the forts in the middle, or by getting PvP kills.
My overall experience was positive.
See that?
New World's positional combat system, which focuses on action rather than strategy, felt just as natural when engaging in large-scale battles against other players as it did when I was going up against a boss in PvE mode. And even despite having a spotty connection to the game server, I found that things went pretty smoothly. I experienced no crashes, lagouts, or serious bugs that jarred me away from Outpost Rush's fast-paced skirmishes, beyond some rubber banding. That said, if you can't find 39 other people to play with, you'll find yourself spending plenty of time waiting in the queue menu before you...
So this would suggest here that it's just a constant queuing system by the looks of it. If he's suggesting they're all just waiting in a queue. Volume up 20%.
You even reached Nothinose Island. I got stuck in the 30-minute queue before the demo session could begin, so I spent that extra time decking out my ice gauntlet and bow skills in order to make myself a master in area of effect spells and ranged damage. In keeping with my attempts to balance my health and damage dealing capabilities, I loaded up on the Constitution, Intelligence, and Dexterity stats.
And I see you're using Pylon.
You did
That's
as well?
a great move, especially in PvE.
He's going to be more than 2 minutes.
POI, you just slap that thing down and bring people to it.
To my satisfaction, balancing the Ice Gauntlet and the bow came in handy a ton once the fighting started, and swapping weapons when specific circumstances arose also felt totally natural. Switching weapons mid-combat is as slick here as it is in Guild Wars 2 or Elder Scrolls Online.
So I don't know if he wants us talking
Nothingness Island
during
itself
this,
is
so
decently sized, but not too large.
Shut up.
There are around 3 different bases to capture, at least 1 major boss fight, and a bunch of different smaller locations, like the mines or the Wolf Den, where you can go hunt and gather resources. The topography of the map is coated with thick jungles and ruins that are perfect to stage traps and ambushes against other players from, inversely making it feel like danger can be lurking around any corner.
The only way to get Azoth is by killing the AI enemies in the farms, and then you can use that to sort of.
I just want to say this guy's skin tone is so flat.
During the short stretches between major PvP fights, we found ourselves chopping down Azoth-infused trees and slaying monsters in order to buy special items at the shops located inside of our captured fortresses.
So you see the storage shed over here. Just drop your resources in there.
Had I saved up a little bit more and died just a smidge less, I could have purchased the summoning token that would have allowed me to bring a powerful monster onto my team's side, like the Summon Brute.
Some of the objectives around the map. So we saw Baroness Hain. The other one is the Corrupted Portal. And you saw that the Brute.
Like a minute, guys. Did y'all see that?
I mean, like, I don't know.
Pictures work.
I'm a fan of this, but like, lots of it just doesn't feel like it's like fully ready, you know? Look at him, he's just standing in the gate in that moment and stuff like that. But
yeah, I don't like. Are they trying to? Is this review footage? Or are they like? I have the volume turned off, so I'm not hearing an echo or anything.
Yeah, I'll pause it for a sec.
I'm not sure if that's what he's talking about. But are they showing that so they can show that it still has glitches or something like that? I mean, that's to be expected with it being an alpha.
Yeah, no, for sure. I guess like I was looking at it from, you know, IGN has such a massive audience, and kind of like showing things, you know, with like the laggy arrow and stuff. I don't know if they've done that to basically say, look, if you've got a crappy connection and a bit of a bad PC, you can still play the game and it works. But you know, from my point of view, it would have just been nice to see someone who isn't joining with lag, and you know, you're not seeing the bear bug out and stuff like that, because it just, in my opinion, gives like such a bad.
It's bad press.
Yeah, I just don't know what's going on. So I was like really gutted when I saw this video versus the one we just watched before, which was, you know, that got me so excited and super hyped. And then I watched this, and I was like, "What is going on, boys? What is this?" But yeah,
I said I was saying it earlier. I feel like IGN is reporters pretending to be, or reporters pretending to be gamers. They just, I've never liked any of their videos. It always seems like they're terrible at whatever they're playing. Sorry, IGN, if somehow y'all watch this video.
No, it's one of those, like, I think the great thing about New World is that it is for everybody, right? Everyone can play the game, and there's no like, you know, there's no judgment if you're, let's want for a better word, shit at the game. That's okay. There's always going to be someone out there that's better than you, but like from a performance point of view as well, it would have just been nice to see it kind of working a bit more smoother.
Yeah, positive PR. I mean, and like what Dulles just said, to be fair, the IGN video is reflective of the actual game. It is, but it isn't, because at the same time, they're playing on a potato PC. Like, I mean, think about even on games where we that are actually, you know, you play games like COD that are made by Activision, made by these big AAA game studios, and they even still have issues with desync and stuff like that. And that's whenever you're playing, like, they're solid games and they still have issues. This person is playing on a potato or an Apple with a iPhone charger in it. Like, I don't get why. The frame rate may be fine, but their graphic quality is terrible.
It's just like what?
Like, look at that. That looks like my cell phone or an old Game Boy.
I've got it on now. I've got it on HD, by the way. But yeah, I mean, like from like an overall game perspective, having 20 people smash it out in kind of a, you know, this scenario right here is what I want to see in the open world, where you see, you know, this Baroness Hain or a similar looking boss would appear in the open world. It wouldn't obviously force you to PvP. Somehow there's got to be an incentive, but imagine this, but 5 times as big and just all out PvP VE in one scenario would, for me, blow my mind with this game. But obviously, the game needs to be able to handle that. I don't know if you guys played Guild Wars. I'm always talking about it. Mitzi, my girlfriend, always tells me, stop talking about Guild Wars, no one gives a shit. But like the scenario of massive dragons, hundreds of people all fighting one massive boss, for me is just glorious. And it's kind of happening here in Outpost Rush, which I think is cool. So I think the game's cool, the game mode's cool, but I'm a little bit disappointed with the way it's kind of being shown here from IGN's point of view.
Exactly, like what Banana said, they expect 4K 60 FPS cinematic looking like footage from a company like IGN. I don't expect cinematic like footage, but I do expect better looking footage than what they are currently showing. Like it's like, yeah, like say you were to come to mine or like any small streamers stream, like yeah, you're gonna expect like a lower frame rate, stuff like that. But whenever it's a massive company like this, you expect bigger things, and you expect then Katsumushi said the Bear's doing something called animation LOD, where the animation tweens are removed to help with rendering at speed. See, I have no idea about any of that stuff, so I could be completely off base here. I'm just saying, like, as far as trying to bring PR to a game, you would probably want to make it look a little bit nicer than like something that I can get better graphics on my cell phone compared to that video.
Yeah, Katsumushi, yeah, like you said, he makes a great point, and there's got to be things out there to support lower end gear, lower end PCs, and absolutely. But I guess on the flip side, yeah, that's why they have, minimum requirements. I don't think anyone really, if they're seeing the bear lag around the place or their bow is shooting a second after they actually shoot it, is probably going to stay around to play the game, because it's not immersive anymore. And for me, it was like that with Crowfall. Sorry, Crowfall, I love you, not really, but when I shot the bow, my arrows would disappear out of my inventory, but nothing comes out of my bow. And it's things like that that kind of turn me off of a game. It would be the same for New World. If the bear's just lagging around, I'm not going to want to play it. It's like, it doesn't make sense for me. But yeah, I don't know nothing about creating games. I just know what I want to see when I'm playing them. Sorry, I stopped it there while he was having a blink. Altair, say some positive things. Me and Reckless are dissing this shit here.
It's a very good video. He shows everything that is going on in Outpost Rush. It's really good. You can see what's going on. It's nice. Look at it. He's shooting a bow. Everyone wants to play the bow nowadays, right?
Potential question for chat as well. I think you leave all materials that you gather in here is solely for upgrading your forts within Outpost Rush. What do you guys think you can take out from Outpost Rush? Do you think you can take materials or just skins that you can earn, or what do you guys think? Do you think it relates to the open world in any way? What about you, Reckless? Do you think this is like is its own standalone, or it will have some effect to the rest of the world that we're fighting in?
I'm gonna plead the fifth here, and I think it's the fifth. God, I'm stupid. That's the question again. I was reading chat.
That's okay. That's okay. So, for example, like you can go around Outpost Rush and you can skin an animal, or you can lock the trees. Do you think you can take those materials with you when you leave, or do you think they'll solely stay within here? And it's the same with weapons. If you earn, like, I don't know, a drop, whether you can take that back to...
I would definitely think that you should be allowed to take those back with you. I couldn't see any reason why you wouldn't. That would take away the point of doing it in game, unless like if maybe the resources that you're getting are magnified or multiplied, excuse me, to where it's makes crafting some of the things during that particular battle. Like then I could get them taking away a finite amount of the items and just giving you the baseline items that you would have walked away with. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they should, or I would think that you would get the rewards and the raw materials that you get from the battle.
I was just scrubbing through the video there to see if they got the end screen. I'm pretty sure there's kind of an end leaderboard reward type system. So Potato Real makes a good point. Maybe like however much you kind of contribute to the game, whether that's capturing a point or collecting resources or killing bosses, that will add to your kind of total leaderboard, and maybe you'll get rewarded with some sort of reward at the end of the Outpost Rush, which that you take back rather than maybe everything you collect, or something like that, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, all we can do is speculate at this point, but
yeah, it's good.
I guess we'll see further in.
Jack asks, the Outpost Rush will be for max level only, or will there be tier to try? As far as I'm aware, I believe I read in the patch notes that it is a level 60 thing that you do when you're level 60 basically.
So I'll be able to play it 3 days in. So I'm gonna buy it from the cash shop.
Let's go level 60. Why are they showing us this if none of them play? I think a lot of it's just building the hype, man. Outpost Rush is going to be quite a big part of New World, I think. For the people that have always wanted PvP, I know it's not the same as hunting someone down in open world. There you go. There's a really bad graphic bug there, which annoys me. It's not the same as hunting down someone in open world, but you've got a real even playing field here, where you can really prove yourself to be some of the best PvPers, which is super cool.
Also think it's a good thing for PvEers, the people who want to gather and craft, because this is probably one of the best things for them, because they can use their gathering and their crafting and their summoning actually for fighting. It's going to be probably one of the best things for them, and then combining that with the PvPers that we got.
That's a really good point.
It's going to be lots of fun.
So do you think if I had level 1 logging, for argument's sake, and you had level 200, that would carry over into this?
I would say it should.
It would make sense, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. And Marone, welcome, man. Welcome to chat. Jeresco says, I think they will bring PvE sort of farmer types with PvP people together here too. So probably on the same wavelength as you there, Altair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick on you a little bit here again. Outpost Rush. Look at this. Look at this dude standing inside the gate. That just annoys me.
Mate, his leg even disappeared. Did you see that?
Yeah, the ball stuck in the gate there. I don't know why they're showing this. It's so strange why this would be shown.
He even hit someone though.
That was my point. Like, as a digital marketer, like, seeing this just makes me feel iffy. Like, why it would be shown to begin with. Like, that's my whole job, is to show things and make things appealing for the people that I'm showing it to. And I wouldn't, if I was trying to bring publicity to a game, unless I wanted to bring negative publicity, I would not be showing this. Not in this form. Like, that would have all been cut out.
Maybe this is a marketing plan, right? Remember how much shit the cash shop got? Lots of marketing they got there. People are going to talk about how shit Outpost Rush is now. Give the game
Bad
some
press
shit.
is still
Some more
press,
YouTube videos. Off we go. I mean, I think one thing we need to kind of really take into consideration. A lot of us here love the idea of a new world. We're all fanboys of it. We're doing a fucking talk show before the game was released. We've been doing it for like 14 weeks now or something. So we're all here to, we're all very positive of the game. And obviously it's nice to kind of pick up on some things that we dislike. But I guess the way I'm looking at it is last August, this wasn't here. This is kind of, as far as I'm aware, been created since last August. So for them to get it to this point, they've done a bloody good job. Obviously, they got a shitload of staff and whatever, but I think it's come together very well. So England's on the penalties, boys. Feel free to go and have a watch. I need to watch this. But yeah, I think as a whole, this if it is just level 60, which is what we all think it is, and I believe the patch notes actually said that, is that they've got a little bit of time from now, until the actual release to kind of hopefully fine tune these bits that we're kind of picking up on here, and maybe whoever kind of owns IGN will buy this guy a sort of better internet connection and a better PC for the next run through that he does. So that would be quite nice if you're listening, IGN. Sort your boy out here. It would be quite nice, please. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. We try. I will try and keep this to an hour. Guys, chat. If you have any questions, please start throwing them in now. Whether it's about territory wars, PvP, Outpost Rush, anything like that. Obviously, you know, we don't know everything, but it's always nice to talk about things and speculate things, especially since beta is just around the corner. Boys are talking about the footy.
Yeah, baby. Excited.
Sub-Zero says, how much do you think they will push New World on Twitch? Reckless, what do you reckon, man?
If I was doing it, I would have some kind of maybe. Okay, if I'm looking at it, even though I hate cash shop items, but if I knew I was going to have a cash shop, I would be pushing some kind of like maybe the first cosmetic that's hitting the cash shop, maybe a decent looking one, but not too much to where it's going to kill the in-game, renown for getting in-game gear. I would be doing some kind of Twitch drop for certain streamers to have people come in there and get people seeing the game, buying the game. I would be doing promotional streams with big names, Asmongold, Summit, people that I know play MMOs, Soda Pop and stuff like that. Definitely would be hitting it up on Twitter a bunch. Try to do my best to get it trending. I would be hammering the gamers. So yeah, I'd be going after Twitch.
I'm hoping,
and I think they should be as well.
I'm hoping, like, since they probably don't have to pay advertising costs because they own Twitch, right? So I'm hoping that they just push a lot of New World content through Twitch. Probably don't show this. Probably don't show this IGN video, but show the one they created, and that would really
show
get
the
people,
IGN video.
that will get people interested. I think they should. Yeah, I agree with you there. Hell's
but
ass.
you get that connection thing, right?
True, Sking, well. Very true. Those people are going to be playing it to begin with. So yeah, and actually, now that I think about it, that would probably actually having to pay those streamers to play their game. That might make it look bad. So yeah,
maybe people from different genres
absolutely right.
to come in.
Different genres, yeah.
That could work quite well.
Like Nick Merckx, something like that.
Hell's asked, do we know a server yet? Yeah, no information on any servers whatsoever. We just need to hold fire. Someone said to me that they know that they're going to release the servers beforehand because they want us to be able to make sure we team up with our friends, ready for the beta launch. And obviously, as everyone knows, those first 2 hours on launch, whether that's beta or actual launch, is going to be such an insane run. Like, it's going to be great. Mickey asked, do you want to see PvP servers so you're flagged at all times between towns? Altair, what do you reckon, man?
Yeah, I want that, but it's probably not going to happen. You can just flag or unflag. That's it. I hope they just make some kind of like boss areas maybe or something like that is just PvP flag. But for now, I don't think it's gonna happen.
I've heard in the works that there's a few kind of communities starting to try and bring other companies together. So when they all hit level 60, it will be, I think they said level 60, or there's people trying to organize PvP servers. So everyone in your company agrees to PvP flag and everyone's always PvP flag. So I think there's kind of some community run things that are starting to try and happen and come about. So there'll be those things there for those companies that are looking for that.
By the way, Danny, if you are you doing a giveaway on this one?
Wasn't planning to. Not today.
If you want to, it's up to you. If you want to, I will fund it.
Oh, hey. Let's
Look at that.
Let's make this a bit of fun. Let me just jump onto my Twitch quick.
That's up to you, but if you're wanting to, I will fund it, whether it be New World game or some pirate gaming merch.
Yeah, everyone's wearing that shirt, right? I've seen
Or
everyone
my
wear
nudes.
it.
I have a very special picture of Altair sitting on my face.
We can put the vote to the people.
Oh shit! You're gonna have to cut this. I forgot this goes on YouTube. You're gonna have to cut out anytime.
This goes out to YouTube. Yes, my friend.
You're gonna
so boys,
I'll me out.
I'll put the vote to the people. So, guys, get voting. If you guys want to do a copy of New World giveaway or some PG merch, there's a vote there. Get your votes in. Thank you, Reckless. It's very kind, man.
Not a problem.
Mike says.
I'm
They should have
sorry,
full
Danny.
review zones later when the game picks up. Maybe even if it's a bloody expansion. There's a lot of talks around expansions, absolutely. Whether that's like, we're really keen to see some sort of ship enabled expansion where we can go out into the sea and either, I don't know, travel to another island or, you know, fight each other on the seas, something like that. Julie's got a good question. What's your most liked or least liked change since the preview, and what's your most wanted change? That's quite a beast of a question. Reckless, do you wanna jump in there? Like, is there anything you wanna say about
that? Most disliked change was definitely the addition of the cash shop. They've clarified a bit on what they plan on doing as far as it goes. I'm okay with the rest of the experience, stuff like that, as long as it's, you know, obviously those people are offline and it's not too much of an edge. I just in general do not like them. One of my biggest things whenever it came to being an MMO player, whenever I played MMO games, was making that grind for that weapon that just you walked into town and you felt like a badass. Like, people would send you a whisper saying, "Hey, how'd you get that? That's so fucking cool." Or they knew that you did something that was hard to do in the game. And I absolutely loved that aspect of MMOs. Like, you get that recognition that you just, like, my wife doesn't love me, so like I got to get it from people, you know, in game. Or daddy didn't hug me enough, but this person thinks I look cool, so fuck you, daddy. That kind of thing. Danny's sitting here cringing because he knows he's gonna have to go and
more edits, man.
Edit all of this out. He's gonna have to edit out anytime I talk. Sorry guys, I'm pretty crude. But as far as the most liked change, I didn't really like. I like the game. What are you slapping your forehead for?
My face palm. My workout will do.
As far as things that my most liked change. Ooh, I really like the game in general. I don't really have a most liked change, to be honest. That's actually why I was so upset whenever they added in the cash shop, because I was like, this game looks perfect for me, and now they're adding this in, and they're possibly ruining a game that I've already fallen in love with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Altair obviously didn't play a preview yet, but is there anything that you're maybe super excited for, or yeah, feel free to answer the whole question. Oh, my camera breaks it,
so what I think is the worst thing they did is probably getting it was full loot PvP, right? Before
it was, yeah.
So I wouldn't mind it if it was still, but if it maybe was just inventory drop on death. Ooh. That would be so good if they went back to that.
Hardcore.
And yeah, so that's the worst thing they did for me, is like, PvP wise, you don't get loot anymore. You get something, but not maybe the good stuff that he has on him. Good thing, the best thing they did was up the company limit to 100.
Nice. Good shout.
Definitely.
Good shout. Yes.
Bates' comments are concerning.
While I switch over to the stream racer, ready for this, boys, you've got a couple more minutes there to get your votes in. The Pirate Gaming merch is currently winning here. Good stuff. Reckless, Altair, boys, feel free to type in chat if you've got a YouTube channel, your Twitch channel. Alien was asking there where you can follow you guys. Or, Altair, do you want to let us know where they can find you?
Twitch.tv/Dutch Altair.
Yeah, boy. Drop it in chat as well so the boys can see.
There you go.
Reckless.
Twitch TV//Reckless X Creed. You can also catch me on my OnlyFans. It's called Only Dan's, and it's actually Danny's OnlyFans. Make sure you subscribe.
In my ass, man.
Follow.
Let's swap over, boys. Let's get ready.
He's never gonna have me on here again. He's never gonna bring me on new ones.
Remember, boys. Remember his face. He's never coming back. So to get involved in the race, boys, you need to type !race. !race. It is limited to 90 people. I don't know if we have 90 active here. Maybe Reckless has scared them off tonight, but boys, get in there. Go for the race. Julius, you made a good point, actually. Let me roll back up what you guys are against. Where was it? Julius, I heard you guys are part of one of those community PvP servers. No, we're not. We're thinking about something like that, but officially we're not a part of the one that I know. Slacker project, if the community putting together PvP servers, it's only a matter of time before they properly implement it. The difficulty is, it will be interesting to see these PvP servers, how many of them actually constantly PvP, because you know, we've seen games like myself and Altair definitely seen games like Last Oasis come and go, and regardless of how frustrating the game became and what it was, the full loop PvP scenario and even just constant PvP, for a lot of people it's quite draining and quite difficult. People have been signing us up, Julius, without even asking us, so there's a few clans that are joining the PvP server that, you know, I would probably quite like to steer clear of, you know, saying things nicely here. So yeah, I personally don't think it's going to work. You know, our companies consist of people that are casual 1 hour a day players right through to the 23-hour, you know, 59-minute kind of players. So for me, it makes sense. The game as it is works very well for all types of players, forcing my guys to, or girls, to PvP when, quite frankly, they don't want to, and they are going to be focusing on the crafting side, and you know, maybe they just want to go and fish all day. I'm not going to hold that against them. I think that's the cool part of the game, and obviously, I don't want to make everyone else quit the game. You know, we're obviously the best. So no, we will be steering clear of PvP servers, at least at the beginning of the game. Boys, exclamation mark race. I'm going to start the countdown in a second. We are going for a piece of Pirate Gaming merch, whichever Reckless decides he wants to give away at the end. Should you not want it, you can pass it on to someone else. Or we can throw it back into and run another race. But officially, New Year Wednesday is kind of, it's done. That was our PvP chat. Thank you all for joining. Let's get this countdown running. Yay. 40 of us. Fantastic.
This is gonna be insane again. It's so good Reckless is not in chat, otherwise everyone's gonna get boomed.
Okay, yes, that's a great point. Let me remind you guys about the commands here. So I'm gonna type it in chat here. So you got exclamation mark. I don't know if I can do this. Exclamation mark boom and cheer 10. I can't cheer on my own channel. You can do cheer 10 space boom, but the cheer and the 10 have got to be together. So it's not exclamation mark boom, it's exclamation mark boost. Oh my god, I'm such a bad host. Jeez, I'm just thinking about blowing people up. So exclamation mark boost, you have 2 per race. I'll just give us a bird's eye view shot so you can see where your car is. You can boost your car. It's basically like popping nitrous, off you go. Or if you've got some bits spare, you don't have to do this. You can do cheer 10 space boom, and it will select someone at random and throw their car into the sky, obviously sabotaging them. Totally sabotage. I have no idea what this map is. The future. The new world. The poll is still up, so if we get 10 people voting for New World copy, the copy of New World will go. So it's still live, by the way. Okay, boys. Exclamation mark boost to boost your car. Cheer 10 space boom to boom someone. The duelist is... You can't go off the track, boys. You can't go off the track. Oh my god, it's absolute chaos.
So many cars.
I'll try and give us a slightly better view here. So Pav is currently in the lead. Deli Snake second. Killer Priest up there too. I don't know where on earth the winning car is right now. It's it's absolutely chaos. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's just that's a good view. You guys can see your names there. Brilliant. Shit. Who's in the lead? Killer Priest. The Killer Priest is stuck currently underneath the bridge. Blake's flying off to the side there. That's gone
Come
crazy.
on, Moomy. We got this. Well, you got this, Moomy. Well done.
Killer Priest in the lead, boys. And Power Gaming merch won. So we got 31 votes for some Power Gaming merch. So where is the winner? So the end is here. So we're looking for someone coming on that final straight there. Thrawn is close. Killer Priest is on the home stretch though. Oh shit, it's gonna be close. Oh, Killer Priest in with the win. Heyo!
Look at that.
Well done, Killer, mate.
Easy win.
Easy win. Moomy second. Floki's coming in third, I think. GG! Well done, Killer, man. Good racing, brother. Good racing.
At least I was top 5. Well, top 5 gets a shirt, right? You said all top 5? Red Reckless?
No. Nope.
Too bad. I think this was the first race, Danneh, you did when no one got exploded.
Yeah. It's true.
Top 50? No. No.
Well done, Killer, man. Well done. Blake, you normally do quite well, but looks like you're coming in a little bit at the end there, mate. GG. Well done, Killer. Give myself, or I mean, you'll see Reckless on Discord, so give Reckless a shout, or we can catch up and we'll sort it out after, mate. Reckless, thank you so much for that.
Not a problem. Priest, I am in the Discord, so if you want to shoot me a message, and I'll get it taken care of. Or Danny, whichever you want to do.
So just before we shoot, Reckless, do you want to remind people, should they be looking for an NA clan, where they can find you and find us?
Oh, sure. Okay, so in the Discord, if you go and look, there is a New World NA section. We are recruiting heavily. We need as many people as possible. I'm looking for officers. I am looking for people that want to step up and have some responsibility. God. I just realized I'm talking into the back end of my mic. I'm looking for people that want to help me run things. We do need quite a few people. New World NA section. Whenever you join the Discord, there's going to be a role selection for New World NA. You click that, and that'll open up the channels. Then there's an application section. Real easy. Shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to complete. Fill that out. If you see a little check bar by it, that means I've looked at it. I've accepted it. If you want to be in an officer role, after you send that or after you fill out that application, really, Danny, send me a message saying that you would like to be considered for an officer role. We will be getting officers meeting. I'm assuming probably I'm going to be trying to set up an officer meeting probably the week before beta, just so we can go over things. And then, oh shit, we are almost a week before beta. I will be going through it though and trying to get a meeting set up so we can discuss some of the things, where we're going to start, what we're going to do, what the plan is, and be good to go. So whenever beta launches, we can just hop straight into it and get into the game.
Love it, man. Love it. Thank you very much. Altair, I love you, dude. Thanks so much for joining. Reckless, thanks so much.
Thanks for
having me. I'm gonna start us on
he doesn't love me.
I'm gonna start us on a raid, boys. So some of you guys may know this guy. Last time we raided him, he threw water over his face. I have seen him hit himself in the face with a pie as well. He's super cool. So boys, prepare your Power Gaming spam. Guys, if you're not here from the company, thank you fucking so much for joining us. Prepare some spam. Absolutely welcome to get stuck in. Danneh, good evening, man. Tara, guys, thank you so much for joining. We'll be on Discord should you want to come and chat some New World. And if not, I will. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Reckless, Altair, thanks again, boys.
Not a problem.
Let's go. Let's catch this guy.